All right, we're at the last part here for giving our letters a three-dimensional feel. So I'm going to put the vanishing point right at the bottom in the middle of the paper here. All of the corners that these letters have are going to be connected to the vanishing point if they can be. And we'll talk about that in just a second there. So notice I'm just kind of looking out around there and checking for every corner. Okay, it's important to put that vanishing point at the bottom because that's going to give us the best view. And so what I'm doing now is just finding the corners and I'm lightly drawing them to that vanishing point. All right. There's going to be a couple of different things that you need to know about this. If a corner goes through the letter, we are not going to draw it. And you'll see me just keep waving my hands here. That means no, don't draw it. Okay. If a corner goes through the letter and then picks up in an open space, we're not going to draw it also. We only draw corners to the vanishing point until they touch an object, so like the inside of the D there. Once it touches that object, it's going to drop dead. That's it. It doesn't go any further, okay? So I'm just going around here finding all the different vanishing lines that are connecting to that point there. Even if they look like they could sneak by, we're not going to draw them there, okay? So I'm going to grab the side of that A there. I'm going to look up in here at that. Even if they go straight up and down, we're going to draw those lines. So you notice I'm kind of just checking the other points there really loosely. If you can just kind of ghost them to that point, and if you notice they're not going to go, don't draw them. All right. Same with the inside of that D there. It hit the other side, and then it stops. So I check my other corners. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Okay. I'm going to check the side of this D here and draw that one down there. Once you get really comfortable with one-point perspective or perspective drawing in general, you can just kind of see what needs to be connected there. So the more you practice this, the actual easier it becomes. It may seem kind of difficult right now to know what connects to what, but it will become intuitive pretty quickly. I love perspective drawing. It's one of my favorite things to do. So I just kind of look at a word or anything like that I'm doing, and I can automatically see what goes where. All right? So we've got all the lines we need connected there. It's time to cut them off. We're going to give this about 1.5 inches of distance. So I tend to like to just draw a line on the bottom of this to start off with. So I'm going to do my 3 measuring technique here. I'm going to draw 3 points under the letters here to get a nice straight line at 1.5 inches below there. Why I like to do this is if you notice, a lot of the bottoms of the letters are flat. Okay, so all the letters that are flat on the bottom, we've basically just done them already. So the bottom of the D, those legs of the A's, bottom of that S and the other D, those are good to go. So I can kind of go up and look and see what the other angles are. When we're talking about perspective drawing, we're basically grabbing the angle from the letter. Okay, so notice I kind of showed you that those ones are angled, that A's up. Right, and each of those little sections there, I follow with my pencil up to see what it's connected to. And we're going to be reflecting what's up there, not reflecting, actually doing the same thing but just farther down in the area here. So I'm going to follow that down. Since that's at an angle, I slide my ruler down. That's going to be at an angle. Okay. Next section, I follow it up, Okay, it hits that part of the A that goes straight up and down, not the underneath side, it's the straight up and down side. And I'm going to take my ruler, slide it over, and go straight up and down. So I'm basically just going systematically through here and checking what sections connect to what parts of the letters. All the flat parts you noticed are staying the same. All the other parts I match with my ruler. I slide that ruler down the best I can, keeping it the same way, and I draw them. Alright, take the side of the S here, slide it down, and I can draw that there. By giving this 1.5 inches of depth, we probably shouldn't have to deal with what's underneath the letters there. So we can just go ahead and leave them there. We probably don't need to cut anything off. A lot of people always want to maybe shorten up the underneath side of that S or something like that, but the further away it is, and being up top there, it's actually going to go a lot farther down than the bottom there. So if you give it enough depth, it actually saves you the heartache of having to deal with the inside of those letters there. Okay. We just got to clean up everything, so I'm going to go through and strengthen up all these lines. Again, Like I was saying with making the letters themselves, if you want anything to interact with the space, don't strengthen them up until you're done drawing all of your extra designs in there. But I tend to not really ever do that, so I'm just going to strengthen them up right now. Okay, I like the letters to kind of stand out there. So don't forget to strengthen up the insides of the letters as well. So the part of the D, the part of the A there, this D and the other S. Just take some time and really make those pop out. If you're using bubble letters, I kind of talked about that, how I don't really recommend it, but if you are, same theory applies. If it's circular on the bottom of the bubble letter, just slide down in that area and draw that same circular part there. So, okay, hope that helps everybody out. This is the hardest part, so please, please, please email me if you have any questions.